Hey, my name is Jacob, and I never imagined I'd be the type of guy to end a relationship over a trip. But looking back, it wasn't just a trip, it was everything it represented. It all began a few weeks ago when Rose mentioned she was planning a girls' trip with her friends. Babe, it's going to be amazing, she had said, her eyes gleaming with excitement. Just me and the girls, relaxing and letting loose. I knew her friends well enough to understand what letting loose meant. Shots until sunrise, flirting for free drinks, and making choices they'd regret the next morning. They weren't bad people, just reckless. Rose always reassured me she was different from them. At first, I stayed quiet. I trusted her, even if I wasn't sure about the influence of her friends. But then, the plans started shifting. Originally, it was supposed to be a spa retreat, harmless enough. Then, it turned into a beach getaway. A few days later, they decided on Miami instead. But the final change was the one that made my stomach sink. "Hey, babe," Rose said casually over dinner one evening. "Remember Lucy's boyfriend, Kevin? He's coming now, and he's bringing some of his friends." I put my fork down, processing her words. "Wait, I thought this was a girls' trip." "Yeah, well, it kind of changed," she shrugged. "It'll still be fun, though. So, I guess I'll come along then," I suggested. Her expression flickered from concern to outright disappointment. "Babe, it's my friend group. You never really have fun with them. Maybe you should sit this one out." I frowned. "So, you expect me to be okay with you going on a trip with a bunch of guys while I stay home, just waiting to see what happens?" "You don't trust me," she accused. "You're not exactly giving me a reason to," I shot back. "You're being vague about everything." "So, which of Kevin's friends are coming?" She hesitated, avoiding eye contact. That moment of silence told me everything I needed to know. "Rose," I said slowly, "is your ex one of them?" She sighed. "Yeah, but it's not a big deal. We're all cool now, Jacob. It's been years. He's with someone else, and I have you." I leaned back, folding my arms. "And you didn't think to invite me? Your actual boyfriend?" She rolled her eyes. "Because it's my friend group, and you never enjoy hanging out with them. It'd just be weird." I let out a quiet, humorless laugh. "But it's not weird to have your ex and a group of random guys there." "You're overthinking this," she sighed. "Kevin and his friends just want to party. It's not like I'm going for them." I shook my head. "Oh, so they just want to party. You do realize how that sounds, right? And the fact that you're dodging my presence. How do you think that looks?" Her expression hardened. "I don't need your permission to go, Jacob. You don't own me." I exhaled sharply, keeping my voice steady. "This isn't about ownership. It's about respect. Would you be okay if I went on a trip like this with my ex?" She scoffed. "I wouldn't care, because I trust you." I nodded slowly. "And right now, I don't trust you. Not because of the trip itself, but because you won't even consider having me there." That conversation was the beginning of the end. Over the next few days, Rose and her friends painted me as the controlling boyfriend. They called me insecure, accused me of being toxic. But deep down, I knew the truth. I wasn't controlling. I was recognizing the red flags before they broke me completely. I don't know why I stuck around as long as I did. Maybe a part of me wanted to see if she'd go through with it, if she completely dismissed my feelings and boundaries. Then came the night before her departure. She was packing her bags, chatting excitedly on the phone with Lucy about their plans. I stood there, watching her, feeling a storm of emotions build inside me. When she finally hung up, I spoke. "Rose?" She glanced at me. "What?" I took a deep breath, exhaling slowly. "When you come back, I won't be here. Just thought you should know." She blinked at me, stunned into silence that I stood there, frozen like a deer caught in headlights. "What?" I exhaled slowly, shaking my head. "I'm done with this." Her face fell. "You're breaking up with me over a trip?" I met her gaze firmly. "No, I'm breaking up with you because this trip showed me exactly who you are. She folded her arms, scowling. And who is that? Someone who doesn't respect my feelings, I said plainly. Someone who doesn't see why this entire situation is a problem. You're choosing a trip with random guys and your ex over your own boyfriend, and I deserve better. She opened her mouth as if to argue, but no words came out. I continued, go on your trip, enjoy yourself, but when you come back, I won't be here. She scoffed, attempting to act indifferent. I don't think you're serious, but whatever. Fine, Jacob. If you're going to be that insecure, maybe we're better off apart. I nodded, grabbing a bag and stuffing some of my belongings into it. Yeah, we are. She glared at me, shaking her head, pretending to pack just to scare me into staying. That's controlling, Jacob. We're going to have to talk about that later in therapy. She scoffed again. You'll be here when I get back. I didn't bother responding, and after she walked out the door, I packed the rest of my things and left her life for good. She tried reaching out a few times while she was away, then her friends, and even, unbelievably, her ex. They all tried convincing me that nothing happened, that I was overreacting. But by then, it wasn't my problem anymore. I blocked them all without hesitation. Rose only cared about what she wanted. She refused to compromise or consider my feelings, and that would never change. So, I did what anyone should in that situation. I moved on. There was no point in sticking around to find out whether my suspicions were right. Hey, it's Rose, and here's my perspective on what happened after. I never thought he'd actually leave. I figured Jacob was just being dramatic, trying to prove a point. He was always the serious type, always searching for deeper meaning in everything. So, when he broke up with me the night before my trip, I was convinced he was bluffing, just trying to scare me into staying. So, I left anyway. And now I've come back to an empty apartment and a silent phone. I sank onto the couch, staring at the floor, replaying everything. The trip, the drinks, the late-night whispers him. My ex. I won't sit here and make excuses. I know what I did. I could lie and say I didn't mean for it to happen, but that would be a joke. The truth is, in that moment, with the music blasting, alcohol clouding my thoughts, I stopped thinking about Jacob. I let myself get swept up in the fun, the attention, the rush of old feelings mixed with reckless mistakes. I hate admitting it, but Jacob was right all along. And now I have nothing, not even a boyfriend left to feel guilty over. I thought maybe, just maybe, when I got back, we could talk. That he'd be mad, sure, but he wouldn't actually leave. That's not who he was. But when I walked through the door, his things were gone. No notes, no messages. Just gone. I didn't realize how much space he took up in my life until he wasn't there anymore. At first, I texted him. Hey, can we talk? No response. I called, straight to voicemail. I tried again and again, but he never picked up. And deep down, I knew why. I chose a trip over him, over us, over everything we had built together. And the worst part, I did exactly what he feared I would do. And for what? For my ex? The guy who barely spoke to me on the flight home? Who offered nothing but casual smiles and distant nods as if I hadn't just thrown away my relationship for him. I thought maybe the trip would bring us closer, that maybe it meant something. But as soon as we landed, it was clear it was just a fling to him, a vacation thrill, nothing more. I had fun for a weekend and destroyed my future for it. Now, I sit in the silence Jacob left behind, finally understanding just how much I took him for granted. He really loved me. He fought for me. He saw the red flags in me that I refused to see in myself. And when I crossed the line, he did the one thing I never thought he'd do. He walked away. I just wish I had realized what I had before I lost it. But now it's too late. Because Jacob isn't answering. And deep down, I know he never will. Hey! Thanks for watching another video. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. It helps keep the channel going. Thanks again, and I hope you have a blessed and wonderful day.